6th chapter of Luke. And Jesus said, so red words win, right? In the 35th verse, love your enemies, do good and lend, hoping for nothing again, and your reward shall be great. You shall be the children of the highest, for he is kind unto the unthankful and to the evil. Be ye therefore merciful, as your Father also is merciful. Judge not, and you shall not be judged. Condemn not, and you shall not be condemned. Forgive, and you shall be forgiven. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure you measure withal, it shall be measured unto you again. So you can't just read that 38th verse. There's a lot of condition here. Judge not that you be not judged. And that is so easy to do. I have had this happen. Someone will come and say, now you know how I love Pastor. Here it comes. But, and not realizing they're judging the man. If there's something that you don't like about what Pastor is saying, go to Pastor. Don't start talking. You just judge the man and don't give him any right to defend himself. You don't know why he taught what he did, and you don't know why he did what he did. Now, this didn't happen to me, but it happened to Brother Hagin. This man got so mad, and he came to Brother Hagin about it. I'll tell you that pastor over there. He said, what are you talking about? Why, I saw one of his little kids running around there with an ice cream cone on my tithe money. You're not tithing to the pastor. Pastor, excuse me. I forget once in a while. No. That's Jesus' money. Judging. Judge not that you be not judged. And it can be so slight. And this means when you're talking to one another. So, and here's the thing, judge not that you be not judged. When someone does that, the opportunity is coming. Someone's going to do you that way. Because the way you measure it is the way it's going to be measured back. Love your enemies. That's a decision. That enemy, it may be somebody in the church. It may be somebody in the family. It may be a national thing. And that includes politicians. You understand that? I don't know why they did what they did. Well, you don't know much, do you? When President Lyndon Johnson was there, I certainly did not agree with his politics. I didn't agree with it at all. And I was griping about it. And the Lord spoke to me. He said, do you know him? I said, no, sir, I don't. He said, do you know anybody that knows him? No, sir. He said, it sounds to me like you don't know much. And he got into a prayer deal that I'm going to get into tonight. And he said, I told you to pray for him. I said, well, yes, I will. And so I'd hear his voice and I'd say, oh, President Lyndon Johnson. Oh, I love him. And he was from Texas. And they called him Ballot Box Johnson. And you can guess why. His brother said he's crooked as a... He said, I wouldn't vote for him under any circumstance. But no, that doesn't count. And I just kept on, just pray in the Spirit, pray in the Spirit. And this is back in the days, you know, when they didn't have the kind of hotel keys like they do now. And so you leave the TV on loud where people outside there could hear it. So I walked in the room, and I just walked into the restroom there, started taking off my tie and so forth, and I heard his voice, and I fell in love with him. Oh, that's my president. He's the only president I have. And I pray for him. Well, I'm in the same place with the one we have now. And listen, I don't have a right to choose. And I'll show you this. It's part of the prayer life, and I'll show you that in a moment. But now, once forgive, then give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure you measure withal, it will be measured to you again. Only in the case of Jesus, every time he brought this up, he measured the 100-fold. Amen goes right there. Amen. That was his measure. Well, it's the Bible measure. Isaac sowed in famine and reaped 100-fold before the year was up. That's biblical. So believe it. Talk about it. And there's been times I was walking down the streets, you know, glory to God. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. I wonder if that's the one that has my 100-fold. Somebody does. Glory to God. It's coming. It's coming. I was in a meeting with Jerry, and he's talking about naming that seed. Well, World War II, and I mean, you know, my mother and my dad both raised on farms, and so they had victory gardens. And you probably had the same thing here. We had victory gardens, and I'm like a rabbit over carrots. And, I like carrots. And so they'd have the little stick would come with the seeds that you could get from the government. And he'd put it in the front of the row. There'd be carrots here and so forth. Well, that was a victory garden. And it named the seed. And Jerry was preaching. And I'd thought about that, but I really hadn't done anything about it. And he said, name the seed in this offering for exactly what you need and desire. So I wrote it down. And I just took my notebook, and I had one of the airplane engines that needed overhaul. So I put engine overhaul victory seed and signed it, put it in the offering. I want you to know the money for that engine overhaul it seemed to me like it was overnight. Well, it got believed for overnight. So that's one of my practices until today. I name my seed. Because a seed can meet any need, and that's what he preached that night, and I still believe it. Now I'm going to tell you something about that man. He had a full-blown stroke. I'm talking about dragon leg and the whole thing. And he refused to accept it. We rushed down to the hospital and laid hands on him. And so, and just, so then, and then he wanted to go home, and his granddaughter, he pointed over there. She said, "You want to go to the garage?" Yeah. Well, his garage is not a garage, it's a museum. He has antique cars. He has an antique military Harley Davidson. Now, you talk about something that's hard to start. And he went in there, he started all the cars, started every one of those motorcycles. I don't know, he just had to do it by faith because it just... Now, he went in there like this, and he walked up there. Don't know, it's your right hand that was. And so he walked up there, and he just reached up and got the key. And she said, "Look what you did." He said, "What?" So, "Oh, perfectly healed." Had a little trouble with his memory there for a little while, but you heard what I mean. I'm asking him all these questions. He remembers everybody's name. He refused to obey that stroke. That's the way you do it. Father, we thank you tonight. We praise you. Oh, look, my eyes just fell on this. A good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good. An evil man of the evil treasure of his heart bringeth forth that is evil. For out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaks. And why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? Whosoever comes to me and hears my sayings and does them, I'll show you to whom he's like. He's like a man which built a house, dug deep, and laid the foundation on a rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently upon that house and could not shake it, for it is founded on a rock. The rock of salvation. And he is the rock. Hallelujah. Thank you, Father. We believe it and we receive it. We thank you for it is the word of the living God.